A new Super Nintendo game is coming out in August, and I think it looks pretty cool. What game is it, and why am I so interested in it? We'll talk about that in a moment. Project Scarlett could actually be a cloud streaming console from Xbox. What is this all about, and what could it entail for the future of video games? A game that hasn't gotten an update in a long time randomly gets one. And Nintendo is fighting a battle that they will not and cannot win. They're trying to put band-aids essentially on the Titanic. All that and much more in the Wednesday, July 25th edition of RGT News. Let's go!
RGT News coming at you right now. Woo! RGT 85 coming to you with the freshest video game news. Now take it away.
Yes, folks, you heard me right. There is a new Super Nintendo game coming to the Super Nintendo in August, and I honestly think it looks pretty cool. This is actually Return of Double Dragon, which was released in Japan, and the version that came to the stateside was actually a different version. The Japanese version is considered to be the better version of the two. Now, this Super Famicom game has been fully translated. I'm guessing that Retroism got the rights and licenses to this game and is bringing it over to the United States for the first time. It'll be releasing at the end of August, and it is currently available for pre-order on Amazon. They released a little trailer for the game, and the game features levels not featured in the North American version of the game, drop in and drop out co-op, which is very cool as well. I honestly think it looks like a fun game. Retroism actually released a fighting game called Unholy Knight on the Super Nintendo that I reviewed on the channel, and I did not really care for it. I didn't think it was a very good fighting game, but this is an established game, a game that's already been released, so I think it looks pretty cool. I think it looks pretty fun, and I probably will pick it up. Let me know in the comments section down below if you plan on checking out Return of Double Dragon on the Super Nintendo when it hits on August 21st. NBA Playgrounds 2 is a game that was supposed to release at the end of May for the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, and PS4, but it seemingly disappeared. There was a delay notice from the company saying that something exciting was coming, but they could not talk about it right then and there. Well, it has been revealed what that exciting thing is. NBA 2K, the Take-Two franchise, is actually taking over this. The game is now known as NBA 2K Playgrounds 2. Visual Concepts president Greg Thomas said in a statement, "The original NBA Playgrounds was a fantastic throwback to the glory days of action arcade sports. The new NBA 2K Playgrounds 2 will step up this energy and attitude big time with a bit of added NBA 2K flair, giving fans of both franchises an exciting new way to play the game with friends around the world." Saber CEO Matt Kark also said that no one is committed to bringing fans a great basketball experience than 2K. We can't wait to show more on how we're teaming up to make NBA 2K Playgrounds 2 incredible arcade action bigger and better for more players. Now, honestly, I think this is a good move. NBA Playgrounds was a really fun game. I reviewed it on the channel for the Nintendo Switch. I had a lot of fun with it. It definitely reminded me of NBA Hang Time more so than NBA Jam, but I feel like adding the 2K pedigree will help this game out in the long run. Obviously, this is going to be an alternative to the NBA 2K series, which is another series that I love, and I could sort of foresee them using more assets and, having a higher production value. That was one thing that the NBA Playgrounds original game didn't really have going for it, was a high production value. So I think this is a match made in heaven. The game is now scheduled to release in the fall for the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, and I think this is a good move for NBA Playgrounds, and I think it's going to make the game even better. Metal Gear Solid 5 was a very controversial game, and it was the swan song for Hideo Kojima, with Konami, of course, leaving halfway through the project, and it just really started this big fallout between Konami and Kojima. Well, this game hasn't had an update in over a year, but randomly, an update for Metal Gear Solid 5 hit the PS4, the Xbox One, and PC today, and it's actually a pretty decent update. It includes Quiet as a playable character now in FOB missions, so that's really cool in my opinion. Quiet was a really interesting character, I thought. I really liked her character progression, and I thought she was cool. She had that cloaking thing as well, a really cool sniper. They've also added in some custom sniper rifles that you can equip and create to your liking in this game as well, and they adjusted the difficulty level on FOB missions so that you can have different difficulty levels. It's pretty random that this game randomly got an update like this. Obviously, this is a game that a lot of people probably thought was never going to be updated again. Obviously, Konami has moved on to other other projects, but here we are, a new update for Metal Gear Solid 5, and I don't know, I might check it out. A company that's been putting a lot of games on the Nintendo Switch is Take-Two Interactive. We of course have seen NBA 2K18, we saw LA Noire last year, and WWE 2K18. I guess 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but it looks like 2K or Take-Two Productions has been enjoying the success that they've been having on the Nintendo Switch. In a recent interview with GameIndustry.biz, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said that what we have put out so far has been very successful on the Switch and promised that more products are coming to Nintendo's console. Now, they did not state what other games were coming. Obviously, Carnival Games is returning because yay, Carnival Games, but I will be interested to see what else is coming. Obviously, NBA 2K19 is coming. WWE 2K19 is not coming, as we talked about on an early video about 2 weeks ago on the channel, and I don't know, that's just a whole mess of a situation, but it will be interesting to see what other games from Take-Two end up coming into the Nintendo Switch. It seems like a lot of third-party developers have been saying positive things about their game sales on the Nintendo Switch, which is definitely an interesting dichotomy when you look at the Wii U and how games just really didn't sell on the Wii U because of low system sales. So it's definitely a positive sign for Wii U or Nintendo Switch owners that these games are selling good on the Nintendo Switch, good enough to where the company seem to be happy. Project Scarlett is supposedly the Xbox One successor, and we've been hearing lots of different rumors about it. I've done videos about it. I think a lot of people are talking about Project Scarlett because more than likely this will beat the PS5 to the gaming market because Microsoft needs to pretty much abandon the Xbox One because it just hasn't been a rousing success for the company. Well, a website called Thurrott.com has described the new hardware, and it's pretty interesting because it's kind of different than what we thought it was going to be, I feel, when it comes to what Project Scarlett is going to be all about. They're saying that Project Scarlett, or Scarlett Cloud as one person called it, is the game streaming service that we have all been envisioning ever since Microsoft showed off a demo game streaming at its all-employee meeting back in 2013, but this time, Microsoft has a path to bring it to the market. The second console that the company is working on is a lower-powered device that is currently planned to ship with the next generation device that is designed for game streaming. But the catch here is that Microsoft thinks it has figured out how to handle the latency-sensitive aspects of gaming. The cloud console will have limited amount of compute locally for specific tasks like controller input, image processing, and importantly, collision detection. The downside of this is since it has more hardware is needed locally, it will raise the price of the streaming box, but it will still cost significantly less than what we are accustomed to for paying for a new generation console, which should help expand the platform's reach. So it sounds like they're pretty much doing a cloud box with their next generation hardware. So it seems like Project Scarlett could actually be a secondary console to whatever the Xbox One 2 or the Xbox 2 is going to be. And I don't know, that seems pretty ballsy in my opinion to release 2 SKUs at the launch of the system, one a cheaper device that is streaming only, and then one that obviously will run some sort of physical media on it as well and will be a beefier system. I don't know, because will all of the games that are playing on the cloud system be able to be played on the Xbox One 2, and more importantly vice versa, because obviously this is going to be a weaker console according to this article. So I don't know, it's pretty ballsy move by Microsoft. It's definitely something I could see them doing, but I don't know about the success of this move. Let me know in the comments section down below if you think this is a good move for Project Scarlett, or do you think that they should just focus on one console and one device and then expand upon it after the release of the system like we've seen with stuff like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Over this past weekend, I did a video talking about how Nintendo is going after a website called LoveRoms.com and actually suing them, and there's a lawsuit going on right now, and they're asking for up to $100 million in damages for uses of their ROMs, their intellectual property, and their licensing. $100 million. And of course, a lot of people are sort of upset by this and confused by it because of how emulators and ROMs are in 2018. There's so many different emulator websites and ROM websites out there. Emulators themselves aren't technically illegal, it seems, but Nintendo seems to think otherwise because now they're going after a website called GitHub.com and told them to take down their Game Boy Advance emulator, which was built into the browser of the website along with some games. So basically, Nintendo told GitHub to take down this emulator because it's built into a browser and it is allowing use of games on their website that play on the Game Boy Advance that are of course Nintendo's intellectual properties. Now they did say that they are considering action regarding those matters but have not included them in their DCMA notice to take down these things. They said that Nintendo's copyright work is not licensed under open source license, and they told them to basically please immediately remove the files. Now, they are not suing them like they did with loveroms.com, but this just seems like such a weird situation to me because it's 2018. It's essentially putting a band-aid on a sinking Titanic. Like, there's so many different emulator and ROM websites out there. It is so easy to get access to these different things. I don't understand what constitutes going after these websites. Like, there's so many different websites out there. How do you even pick and choose which websites you want to go after? Unfortunately, this situation has spiraled out of control, and with the lack of a proper virtual console or any virtual console on the Nintendo Switch, if people want to play these games, it's become a lot more difficult. You have to go to your 3DS or your Wii U to play these games. Of course, there are the classic systems as well, but it just seems like a fight that Nintendo cannot win. It is a war that they will never win, because for every website that closes down or every website that ends up getting sued, 10 more will pop up the next day. So I don't know. It seems like Nintendo is kind of wasting their time with this situation, but let me know in the comments section down below what you think of the situation. And finally, I want to give a brief shout out to author Brett Weiss, who just released his newest book, the SNES Omnibus A through M, which is a beautiful hardcover book covering the Super Nintendo games from A through M. Beautiful, beautiful book. Beautiful color pictures on here and stuff, excellent text, and I'm actually in here. I wrote about one game, Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run, because I don't know, I had some weird attachment to that game. I have a little personal story in here as well, where you can see what my attachment was to this game, but a really quality book, a really awesome book. Make sure you check out Brett's stuff. I'll have a link to his website in the description box down below. Really quality book. If you're a fan of the Super Nintendo, I definitely highly suggest you check this out. Maybe if a company will do a Genesis book, I'll write a little bit more than just one story in there. But thank you, Brett, for sending this over. Guys, really high quality book. If you're interested in it, like I said, link in the description box down below. Alright, and that's going to do it for the Wednesday, July 25th edition of RGT News. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. RGT News is every Wednesday and Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Sharp. Make sure you check out other videos on the channel. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on this week. We just reviewed the Mega Man X Legacy Collection. I did a Retro Game Treasure unboxing. There's some cool stuff coming up in the second half of the week as well, so be on the lookout for that. And as always, thank you for watching. I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.